Apologies, everyone, but this might be the final episode of our English Sekiro playthrough. The last episode got really poor views, an all-time low for this channel at around 30 views, and half of those were probably me. I clearly did something wrong, though I have no idea what.
お主、フクロウのせがれか。
何があった？
賊どもが平田屋敷に巫女様を急ぐのじゃ。
今は幾年だ？
何をおかしな。
教えてくれ。
流泉詣の年であろう。
流泉詣3年前か。どういうことだ。武士殿は古い記憶と言った。何も覚えてはおらぬが、これは過去ということか。
So, if the views on this episode are still pretty low, this is going to be the last one. But if you're just interested in my routing and already know the story, or simply don't care about it, you can check out the no commentary full playthrough on my Chinese channel. The link is in the pinned comment below. Also, I'm not including an audio track with my real voice this time around. I honestly suspect my terrible accent scared off a lot of viewers in the last episode. I mean, I did provide an AI voice track, but some people probably got scared away before they even had a chance to switch to it. Back to the game, I'm hunting carps. There are 4 here, but 2 are deep underwater, so you can kill them later. If you get all 4 plus the scale on land, you'll have 5 to buy a skill from the Pot Noble. I wouldn't say this skill is completely useless, but it's not super great either. So I highly recommend waiting until you unlock the underwater diving ability later in the game before coming back to hunt these fish.
もし、お主、恋の鱗を知らんかい。キラキラ光る宝鯉の鱗。それを持てば存分に褒美を取らそうぞ。良き心がけ、褒めて取らす。お主よ、我は恋になりたいのじゃ。長い時を育ちとともにある大きな恋。恋惚れぬ恋にの、また鱗持っておいでや。
This skill deals chip damage through enemy blocks. Against defensive bosses, it's great for lowering their HP early, so their posture builds up faster. But it's completely useless against regular mobs. Their posture breaks so easily, you don't even need to touch their HP. In the last episode, I mentioned that most areas in Sekiro have a vantage point for scouting enemies, though I skipped that one. I'll show you the one here, because it's not just for scouting, you can also use it for stealth kills. Doing a plunging death blow on this torch guy might alert the sword enemy, but don't panic. The only real threats around here are the axe guys. The rest go down in 2 or 3 hits and can barely fight back. So when facing a group here, take out the ranged enemies with your shurikens first, since they're super squishy. After that, prioritize the axe guy. There's usually only 1 per group. Once you stealth kill him, clearing out the rest head-on is a breeze. Act fast here. If the torch guy yells for too long, the drunk guy inside will hear him, rush out, and beat you down. The enemy groups in this area are separated by walls. So if you kill the first group but die to the second, you can easily just parkour over the walls from the idol, completely bypass the first group, and head straight for the second. This kind of level design, using walls, trees, and rocks to split large areas of enemies into smaller groups, is actually super common in Sekiro. There are a lot of drunk enemies around here, and their drunken animations are pretty diverse and hilarious. Let's hold off on attacking for a second, just to appreciate the animation work by FromSoft.
おお、よく燃えるの。
火吹き筒とはよく言ったものよ。景気づけにはぴったりだ。
ちげえね。新規臭い田舎屋敷だ。せめて最後くらいはパーッとね。
This torch guy just finished checking on the dog I killed. The reason I didn't throw the ceramic shard earlier is because it does absolutely nothing if you throw it while he's walking over. You actually have to wait for him to stop and inspect the dog first. I personally find this AI logic a bit weird. A pure stealth game wouldn't be designed like this, right? Like I said in the previous episode, this is one of the reasons why the stealth mechanics here just don't compare to a true stealth game. I'll show you another weird AI quirk later in this video. Alright, we just grabbed the flame vent. Having this makes the chained ogre a total joke. He'll completely melt it. It's so simple that I'll just skip showing it.
なんてゲロども。
おい、
お主確か忍びよな。であれば王道の忍びよの奴らを頭蓋を叩き割ってたの。
次はこのお堂ですかい。いや、そこはいい。次に行くぞ。けんど、供え物でもあれば重曹様に。やめんか。仏様には手出しのよ。なんでじゃわかるんだ、タコが。怒らないでおくれよ、兄貴。タコでごめんよ。
Miyazaki was so terrified we'd miss the prosthetic tool in this shrine that a dialogue hint wasn't enough. He actually threw in an eavesdrop here too. This tool is absolutely crucial and will totally carry you through the next area. Without it, you're gonna have a really rough time. Okay, look at this guy just mashing his face into the corner. That's the other brain-dead AI I was talking about. He heard the fight on the other side of the wall, but whoever programmed his pathfinding really messed up.
よう旦那、あんたも火事場泥棒ですかい？旦那は見たとこ忍びですかね。何か探し物でも？まあ何にせよ、ここはあっしが先に見つけた場所でさ。よそを漁ってください。ああ、そういえばどっかの崖上に三重の塔が見えやしたぜ。あんだけご立派な塔だ。きっと中にはお宝がしまわれてるに違いねえ。あっしならそう思いやすね。
もう開けやがれ。こそこそと隠れてんのは分かってんだ。おとなしく投降しないと痛い目見るぞ。聞こえてんのか？ああ。
I know that merchant is incredibly punchable, but whatever you do, don't kill him, or he won't be around 3 years later in the present.
誰ですか？
族ではない。
あなたは若様の。あ、よかった。忍び殿、族どもの目的は若様です。あやつらはすでに竹林坂上にいたり、お屋敷に火をかけています。若様の脱出も叶わなかったご様子。お願いです、忍び殿。若様をお救いください。これをあなたに託します。どうかお役立てを。
承知。
There's some extra dialogue and an eavesdrop in another room in this courtyard. I'll include it later in the run. Let's head back to the sculptor to equip the flame vent and the axe we just got. We're gonna need them right away.
戻ったか。
あれは夢なのか、それとも誠にあった ことなのか。
さてな、夢かうつつか、わしにも定かなことはわからん。一つ言えるのは、仏様は、お前さんの古い記憶を起こしてくださっているだけじゃ。お前さんがどう思い、どう覚えていたか、すべてはそれ次第じゃ。
見るものすべてが正しく起こったことかはわからぬ。
そういうことじゃ。その忍び義手、随分と腕に馴染んできたようじゃな。お前さん、これを取っておきな。
これは
お前さんの牙でどう噛み殺すか、それが書いてある。要は、忍び義手を使った戦いの術じゃな。
わかった。
まったく、義手の忍び技など、もはや無用と思っておったが、わからんものよな。ではな、また、久しくらいなら貸してやろう。
お主、若様の忍びじゃな。
ああ、
肝心な時におらぬとんだ役立たずめ。いや、もしやお主賊を手引いたのではあるまいな。さもなくばこの平田屋敷がこうもあっけなく落ちようものか。そうよ、そうに違いないわ。いねえ、裏切り者はいねえ。
Without the axe, these two shield guys would be a massive pain to deal with. But since we have it, they're literally free kills. Another vantage point for scouting. Perfect for a drop assassination on the torch guy. Luring the next guy with a shard takes time, so I'll play the courtyard eavesdrop and dialogue while we wait.
どうか動かないでください。傷に触ります。
いや、行かねばならぬ。賊どもの中に忍び狩りの僧兵が混ざっている。あれは手だれよ。どうしても私が行かねば。
無理です。この傷ではとても。
By the way, doing a stealth kill from a ledge hang on a 2 health bar mini-boss triggers a glitch. Their second health bar completely drains, so you just need one hit to instantly break their posture. I won't be demonstrating that here though. To beat this shinobi hunter, you really need to learn the Makiri counter. Once you master that, just mix in a few axe hits, and his posture will max out in no time. You can actually treat this spear monk as your personal Mikiri tutor. Just use the Mikiri counter on him and absolutely nothing else. It's a great way to quickly master this skill. Mikiri is arguably the most important core mechanic in the game. It lets you completely counter thrust attacks and deals massive posture damage. This area has a ton of routing options, which makes it incredibly fun. Honestly, if we're strictly talking about route planning, I actually find Sekiro more enjoyable than Bloodborne. Maybe it's because the stealth mechanics are so much more defined, which gives the routing a much stronger puzzle-solving vibe. The mechanical difficulty between different routes varies massively, and since my own skills are just average, I have to pick the easiest routes so the gameplay footage looks smooth and clean. Those 3 spirit emblems back there were super shiny, so it's highly unlikely you'd miss this hidden path. Coming up is a pretty tough enemy. If you're really struggling to beat him, you can always just run away to reset his aggro, then come back and stealth kill him. For that combo he just did, you want to deflect 4 times in a row, pause for a beat, and then hit the Makiri counter. That perfectly counters the whole thing. You just have to learn the inputs first, then focus on the rhythm. Once you master that, the combat feels absolutely amazing. We just picked up that contact medicine, and the description says it's for a specific technique. Basically, it's just meant to be used in combo with the Mistraven feathers we just grabbed. Taking out this group of archers from up here on the cliff is super easy. But if you try to charge them head on, you're basically gonna get turned into a pincushion. Always remember, the main path is a complete death trap. Finding a way to flank from the side is always the easier route. This next part is pretty straightforward, so I'm gonna take a quick breather and drop the commentary for a bit. If you decided not to fight that ninja, you can grapple up here to drop the archer first. Then jump outwards from the left side. This tree design is so clever. If you jump straight at it, the big guy spots you immediately. You really have to think for a second and angle your jump outward. That leaves the 2 easy shield guys. After this, there's a long cutscene, so just fast forward if you're not interested in the story.
父上。
お前か。不覚を取った。このわしも置いたものだ。手当てはよい。この傷ではもはや助からぬ。それより狼よ、これを。
これは
お屋敷の隠し仏殿の鍵よ。巫女様はそこに。だがこの火の手じゃ正面からは入れぬ。
崖外からならば。
そうじゃ。あちらから外へ出て崖沿いに進み、霊園から回り込め。さすれば抜け道が。
わかりました。
狼よ、忍びの掟は忘れておらぬな。
はい。
主は絶対。狼よ、命を落としてお守りするのじゃ。
父上。
今頃火の海よ。ああ、抜け出してくるとしたらこの隠しホラー穴にちげえねえ。十三様の言いつけだ。ネズミ一匹逃がすんじゃないぞ。分かってるさ。俺はもともと大っ嫌いなんだ。危なくなりゃ自分だけ逃げ出す卑怯者がよ。
This group of enemies actually isn't too hard, as long as you prioritize that archer tucked away in the corner. He's got a super sneaky hiding spot, so you'll probably miss him your first time through. Like I said before, the axe guys are always your number one threat. The torch guys are a close second. When a torch guy spots you, he'll immediately try to call for backup. Sometimes you need to kill him before he yells, and other times you should use his yelling animation as a window to take out the guy next to him. But honestly, prioritizing the axe guy first is always the safest bet. For the torch guys, you can just play it by ear. I gotta say, the map design right here is a little disappointing. That item location we just left connects outside, but it only takes you back to the last bonfire. It's a bit of a bummer. Imagine if it led up to the rock right above where the white monk stands still. We'd be able to do a plunging death blow on him. It would have given us way cooler approach options. Right now, our only option is to wait for him to turn his back. I almost feel like the devs meant to make this a drop assassination spot, but ended up scrapping it. The path exists. There's even a gap in the bamboo. It's just missing a grapple point for Wolf to get up. That monk just dropped a heavy coin purse. The description literally says hefty enough to bring something resembling a grin to a wolf's face. See? Money can even make the wolf smile. You know, sometimes we think we're depressed, but it's actually an illusion. The truth is, we're just broke. Anyway, let's keep going. This next area can be pretty annoying if you don't back up your save. It's a really tough mini-boss surrounded by a huge mob of enemies. But from a design perspective, the difficulty is completely fair, because the game literally gives you an NPC to help out. If you clear the mobs first, call the NPC, and just gang up on the boss 2v1, you can easily beat him on your first try. But if you do that, you kind of feel like you cheated yourself out of a real boss fight. On the other hand, if you don't use the NPC and end up dying, having to clear out all those mobs every single time is incredibly tedious. So, my personal recommendation, clear the mobs, make a save backup, and then fight the boss 1v1. It's actually a really well-designed mini-boss, and fighting him solo is a ton of fun. The enemies in this room are hiding in some really sneaky spots. On your first run, they'll probably get aggroed by the torch guy. Right around the corner ahead, there's an axe guy camping. Behind him is some divine confetti, a crucial item for the early game. With Miyazaki's games, you can always trust the level design. If you take the time to think, you can always find an easier route. Some devs out there trying to copy Miyazaki love putting a corner camper by the door to jump you. I definitely learned that part. But what they forget is that Miyazaki also designs a hidden path so the player can flank and gank that camper right back. It's exactly why we sometimes play a game and think, this has a Souls vibe, but something just feels off. It's usually because they didn't give you that flank route. Getting ambushed and then finding a way to ambush the ambusher, that's the complete camper loop experience. But hey, that's just my subjective take. You actually enjoy just getting cheap-shotted by campers. To each their own. No right or wrong here. After you clear out the trash mobs up front, you want to get the boss's attention. Once he stands up, just immediately back off and kite him away. While he's slowly walking towards you, use that time to slip into the room and take out the other two mobs. But be careful. When fighting those two, make sure the boss has already walked past the doorway. If you fight them in his line of sight, he'll instantly go on full alert and charge right at you. The easiest way to actually beat this boss is by using the flame vent, because he's incredibly weak to fire. Wait for him to turn his back, then sneak up and stealth kill his first health bar. Toss an oil at him to make him highly flammable, then use the flame vent to set him on fire. Get a few quick hits in and run away. Once the fire wears off, just rinse and repeat. After about 4 times, he's dead. Actually, fighting this boss straight up with deflects is pretty tough. Way harder than the previous mini-bosses. We'll run into enemies just like him later on, so if this series actually continues, I'll show you a different approach next time. This entire map is actually an optional area. If it gets too hard, just leave and come back later with better tools and skills. In the early game, the only real objective here is securing those prosthetics.
お主、この基地によくぞ参じたのう。はぐれ忍びも捨てたものではないわ。わしは若様を 九郎様を救わねばならん。そうせねば立身様に申し訳が立たぬ。共に参れ。うわいやいや、我こそは野上玄斎、国取り戦の芦名衆が一人よ。老体には答えるわい。先に行け。
2 mobs left. Let's stealth one, but I whiffed it. Doesn't matter. They're scrubs.
苦労のせがれか。わしは恐ろしきものを見た。湧き出てくるのじゃ。次から次へと。止め殿、止め殿。若様がお屋敷の奥に。わしのせがれが伊之助が向かったゆえ無事と思うが、はぐれ忍びよ、念のためじゃ。お主も若様をお救いに行っておくれ。
そなた若様のこの先へ行くのはやめておけ。恐ろしき剣術よ。種ならしがなければ破れぬぞ。これをわずかだがそなたに託そう。森役の務めと勇んでみたが、このざまよ、平田はしまいじゃ。母だけでも逃がさねば。
父上、母上、長女よ、皆どこへ行ったのだ。
巫女様、現実か。
久しいな、フクロウのせがれよ。
お蝶殿、言ってください。
そなたは。
なすべきことをなすのです。
わかりました。
さて、やろうか、せがれ殿。
お蝶殿、何故。
さてな、惑わば死ぬるぞ、せがれ殿。
Lady Butterfly is actually super easy later on when you have stronger prosthetics and skills. If you're fighting her early and just want an easy win, you can use the hit and pause cheese. Literally just slash, pause a beat, slash again, and stun lock her to death. But honestly, I highly recommend fighting her normally with deflects. The rhythm of trading blows with her is incredibly satisfying.
やるじゃないか、せがれ殿。
Clink, clank, clang. When you see that big spark, it means she deflected you, and now it's your turn to get ready to defend. It's a very easy rhythm to master once you see it. For her second phase, if you just stay extremely aggressive and keep the pressure on, she won't even get a chance to summon her illusions. Doing that makes the fight super easy, even if you run completely out of snap seeds. Of course, if you're still really struggling, just come back in the mid to late game.
お蝶殿、ごめん。
腕を上げたね、狼。
Alright, that's gonna do it for this episode. There probably won't be a next one, but hey. Anyway, just for good luck, I'll say it. See you in the next episode.
Oh!
私のためそなたは戦ってくれた。捨ておくことなどできるものか。狼よ、我が血と共に生きてくれ。